Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Carlson blue center spring loaded lift mechanism. This is their LS703, or just their 703 center style blue spring. We'll explain what that means in a moment. And right hand lift mechanism. Carlson makes the 702. The only difference between the 702 and the 703, is the orientation of the bottom mounting plate. The 702 would mount to the sidewall. The 703 mounts to the back wall. They are handed, left hand and right hand, and that's when you're viewing the trunk from head on and you lift it in front of you. The left is on the left and the right is on the right. It's that simple. So from your perspective, this is indeed a right hand. I happen to have a left hand here, so you can get the concept of how they're different. That's a left hand. That's a right hand. Okay. It is common for people to install what they call the center mount in just single units, and typically left hand is what's done there. But if you're putting two on, rather than have two left hands, you would want one of each hand so that it looks symmetrical. Certainly the 702s, you would order them left and right because they have to mount to the sidewall. They also make a 900 series, which is mounted to the back, and there's an image below this video showing a cross-section of how all that looks. Now, let's get to the nuts and bolts of this thing. Center mounted blue spring, right hand. This is in a statutory bronze sort of color. It's old world English bronze, old world bronze, oxidized relieved bronze, lots of names for this. This is just a generic bronze type of finish. Now, the rating is for 35 to 40 pound applications. Let's go over that. And that's really the business end of where the reference to blue spring comes in. Okay? There is a link below this video to a document called Cut Sheet. The cut sheet gives you the formula by which you determine which spring you need. Our website has perhaps not all of the colors of springs, but most of them. Stand by. Okay, to find inch pounds, and that is what the value is that you have to arrive at, multiply half of the distance from front to back times the weight of the lid. So if the lid weighs 10 pounds and it's 20-inch deep, you're going to multiply 10 times 10, which will give you 100. That's quite a heavy lid and large. But that's how you go about doing that. Okay, so you're going to be in the orange spring value, something like that. Something a bit more appropriate might be a 5-pound lid, and maybe 20-inch or 8 or 16-inch deep, so 8 times 5, that sort of application is where you're going to get the blue sort of spring, and blue is very common. Black is common as well. We sell black, have certainly sold yellow. So between blue and yellow is where most of these spring types are going to fall into place, and that is indeed my experience. So the weight of the lid multiplied by half of the width of the lid, and that's the formula by which you determine it. The 702 is on that cut sheet are the installation instructions. Place the lid support on either side of the panel or left side depending on the location of the U-bracket. That's a reference, of course, to the 702 where you're going to sidewall mount it. Same sort of application. Number 6, sheet metal screws, pan head not included with this. Lay the lid support against the underside of the lid so that the first screw hole is approximately 3 inches from the back edge of the lid. Fasten with screws. Very common and typical, and you can see in the upper right hand corner the cross section of what the dimensions fall out to be. About 1.25 inches, center line really of what you're dealing with, up to the top of the lid, and then that should put you in the range of about 3 inch. Okay, and there is yeah, lower on page 1 will give you the 1/16 dimension for that. 1.25 to the center line generally is what I've used. But the lower 703 installation instructions are the same sort of information provided. You can see very nicely on page 2 of the cut sheets of what all of the dimensions look as the lid goes through its path of opening and closing. All the a geometrical sort of reference of all the dimensions are indicated there as well on page 2. The carpentry aspect of it is simple and straightforward. You've got your dimension from the top of the lid. It will give you the lid, for this. You determine the spring color that you're going to need based on the inch pound that is going to be derived at. And that's really it. They call it, simple and straightforward. Not all of the springs, again, we stock, but we can order any of them should your need get outside of there. There is a link below this video as well to the manufacturer's produced video of their lid lifting mechanisms in action, which are nice. A couple of images down below here as well shows the center style. And then finally there's a link to the manufacturer's page where you can view all of our Carlson products, but then link also to their manufacturer's website, etc. My name is Rich Howard. If you have any questions on the Carlson, this is their LS703-blue right-hand center style spring-loaded lifting mechanism, or any other Carlson product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.